with a heart of grace overflow in us. Decorate this place as it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. One more time. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, 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 in the name of love.
Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining out through us right here. Spirit, you're love in us, reaching us with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond the hush. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it.
We feel it.
We feel it.
We feel it.
Yeah. Believe in this spirit. Spirit, you're the breath in us, breathing all of us right here. Spirit, you're the grace in us, calming every fear right here. Spirit, you're the peace in us, spreading out across the world. Spirit, you're the power in us, flying like a flag unfurled. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it.
We feel it.
Reveal it.
Reveal it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, the Spirit. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond the hush. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it.
We feel it.
Reveal it.
Reveal it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it.
We feel it.
Reveal it.
Reveal it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it. It's Spirit. We see it, believe it. It's Spirit. We feel it, believe it, it's Spirit.
Yeah, we see it and we feel it. We are Spirit. All right. Good morning, everyone. We at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral land of the Kauai, the Gabrielina Tongva, the Keech, and the Pechanga peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly on this land. We recognize our oneness so that we may decolonize our minds and set each other free from the pain of racism and violence, to live better as Great Spirit intended in harmony with nature and with one another. So again, good morning. And welcome to the morning table. I'm ministerial intern, soon to be Reverend at Riverside Theater, where love lives here and together we rise. So I'd like to say hello to everyone joining us on live stream, and please put your phones on silent so our time together here can be spent, without all the ring-a-ding-dings and the ding-dong-dongs and whatever ringtone you might have. We don't want that in the service today, although it might be nice. So let's ground ourselves in unity for a moment as we say our focus statement together, and it will be on the screen. Together now, we embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. You know what? I didn't believe you. I didn't believe that at all. Let's say it again together, loud and proud. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. All right. So now let's get up, everyone, and get those bodies moving as we listen to some beautiful music from our band.
I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. Sing it with me now. I am the energy of peace. I am the energy of peace. I am the energy of peace. You got it. Love. I am the energy of love. I am the energy of love. I am the energy of love. energy of life. I am the energy of life. I am the energy of life. We got this, let's do joy. I am the energy of joy. I am the energy of joy. I am the energy of joy. One more time. Ready, here we go. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Joseph Nelson, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I will be available after the morning table for a brief moment of prayer in the prayer room outside in the lobby. Please don't leave here this morning with anything on your hearts. We would love to pray with you and absolutely know that prayer works. There's a candle in the center of your table, and I invite you to light it together with me now as we come together in conversation this morning. This candle is a reminder that when two or more are gathered, a greater wisdom is available to us. We experience a deeper love, and our own light shines brighter. Now, please allow this music to take you into the silence, followed by this morning's invocation.
Loving Spirit, dwell in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit, dwell in me, now and evermore. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender and let it be. Loving Spirit, dwell in me, now and evermore, now and
Centering now into this place, into this time, into this moment, in recognition of this universal consciousness, this universal mind and power that is everywhere, existing in every point in space and time, all the time. It is reflected in all things seen and unseen, tangible and intangible, in the sun, the moon, the stars, the streams, the mountains, the deserts, and the birds of the air and the beasts of the field, and it is reflected in me. I call this power and presence God. You may choose to call it whatever it calls upon you to call it, but I know that as God is all there is, I know that I am one with God. And as I know this truth for myself, I speak this truth for each and every divine child of God here in this space and in this place and watching online as this love vibration beams outward, clinging to all who are receptive to it, this power of love, peace, joy that we feel now, that we experience now right here in this music, in this community. How sweet it is, creating this clear channel of receptivity to the message to be delivered here by Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, opening us up to more and more good. How blessed this place and space is right now by a magnificent, sweet spirit. Blessed be. And so it is.
To see what you are doing here in the ruins and where this will lead. Oh, but I know down through the years I'll look back on this moment and see your hand on it and know you were here. And I'll testify of the battles you've won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. And I'll testify of the seas that we've crossed, the waters you parted, the waves that I've walked, singing, oh, my God did not fail. Oh, it's the story I'll tell, singing, oh, I know it is well. Oh, it's the story I'll tell. Believing gets hard when options are few, when I can't see how you're moving. I know that you're proving you're the God who comes through. Oh, but I know that over the years I'll look back on this moment and see your hand on it and know you were here. Oh, and I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. Oh, I'll testify of the seas that we've crossed, I'll tell. We'll sing it. Oh, 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 I know it is well. Oh, 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 it's the story I'll tell. And all that is left is highest praises. So sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And all that is left is highest praises. So sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And I'll testify of the battles you won. How you were my portion when there wasn't enough. I'll testify of the seas that we crossed. Yes, I will. The waters you parted, the waves that I walked, singing, oh, 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 my God did not fail me. Oh, 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 it's the story I'll tell. Singing, oh, 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 I know it is well. Oh, 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 it's the story I'll tell.
The stories we tell, right? Ooh. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, the stories we tell. Now that that's situated, we'll try that again. Right? So we've been talking for the past couple of weeks, and I've been sharing with you, that a belief, right? Especially last week, we talked about the idea of the anatomy of a situation. Remember that? Yeah? And so where do we start with the anatomy of a situation? We start with the facts. And then we step into the feelings, and then we step into the beliefs, because the feelings and the beliefs, the feelings kind of support the beliefs, right? And the beliefs may be what they are. But really what a belief is that it is a story that we tell that is wrapped around the fact of the matter. So our beliefs have a tendency, hey James, our beliefs have a tendency to follow the story that we make up about the facts of the matter and the story that we wrap things in, right? And the way we wrap stories around beliefs and what we make them mean is that, or we wrap stories around facts, and we make them mean something based on past experiences, correct? So if we have an experience or we have several experiences, and then it says, oh, okay, our mind starts to make meaning around this, especially when we're little, especially under the age of 10, because we can't really process anything really well, then what we're processing is we're making it mean something about me personally, something about ourselves personally, right? And from that point on, then that's the story we begin to tell, right? And then it becomes a belief. And then what happens when it becomes a belief, then what happens, we see the outpicturing of the belief, because the belief also has feeling behind it. We with me so far? Remembering this so far? Right? How we doing? Good. All right. So, there was a situation yesterday. There was a situation yesterday. right? Donald Trump was shot in the right ear. He bowed down, or he got down behind the podium. They subdued the person, they subdued the shooter. One individual died behind him, and 2 other were critically injured and taken to the hospital, right? That's the situation. That's the facts. He got up. He was all right. He was missing his shoes somehow. He was missing his hat, right? He was saying, I want my shoes. Let me get my shoes. Let me get my hat, right? Let me get my shoes. Let me get my hat. And the Secret Service was moving him off the stage, yes, off the platform. And as they were doing so, he raised his fist in the air and mouthed the word, fight, 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 3 times, right? And then the crowd starting chanting, USA, USA, USA. And then they took him off. He's fine, right? He was checked out by a doctor. Everything is fine. He's fine, okay? So that's the sitch. That's the situation. Those are the facts of the situation. Now then, my beloveds, there are all kinds of feelings about this out there. And there are all kinds of beliefs out there because there's all kinds of stories that people are making up about this, right? This incident. People are now making up stories. And so what do we know when we're making up stories? Stories are beliefs fueled by, or stories become our beliefs fueled by our feelings one way or another. And then we have the opportunity, do we not, to choose what we're going to do with the belief, choose what we're going to do, choose how we're going to respond to what is going on. Is this correct? Right? Okay. So my beloveds, there are, did you know this? There are 125 plus tools for transformation and thriving on our website. Yeah. And if you had read the email this week, you'd already know that. So that also clues me into who's read and who has not read. Oops. See, you didn't know there was going to be a test on the email, did you? Right? We have 125 plus tools for thriving, tools for transformation, spiritual tools, practical tools, tools to help you deal with and experience and go deeper with the ideas and concepts and principles that we teach here at Centers for Spiritual Living. And guess what? How many questions are there, those that read the email? Do you remember? A lot. There we go. That's good. Good save. A lot. There's over 600 questions there for you to look at. Frank knows because he looks at them every week, because the men's group works with him every week, right? But there are over 600 questions there for you to use to spark a discussion with your friends, with your neighbors, with your spouses, with your dog, whomever, right? Maybe your parrot will talk back to you, I don't know. But there are over 600 questions. And if you don't want to talk about those with anybody, guess what? They work really well as journal prompts for you to investigate and go deeper within yourself. How you feeling about that, James? He just gave me a lot of homework. Yeah, right? So when I ask you what's in your toolbox, what I also shared with you this week is we have, since 2022, have been posting every week the tools. We've been posting the questions, and we've left them up so that you can have them and access them whenever as a resource for you. And why do we do that? Why do we publish these tools? Well, one, if we are going to live out the mission of awakening, or the purpose of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and the mission of providing spiritual tools for global and personal transformation, and if we are going to embolden people to live their highest potential, then we have to be providing the tools. And I don't know that you may have paid attention to this, but we are not a center for spiritual awareness. We are a center for spiritual what? Living. Living. So, what does living mean? Living means we have to practice and we have to apply. Living means we just don't come here on a Sunday and sit and look cute and have our coffee, right? Or donuts or whatever we've got. We can do that in addition to, but living itself means that you are taking what you learn here and you are applying it out there. You are practicing it out there. And as Michael Beckwith says and shares with us, one of the best ways to practice that and practice the principles and apply them, he calls the news his prayer request line. His prayer request line, right? So if we are seeing something happen on the news like we witnessed yesterday, right? We as people who claim to live spiritually, right, have the duty, yes, I said duty, have the obligation, yes, I said obligation, have the responsibility, yes, I said responsibility, to step into and practice and apply what we know to be true, apply spiritual principle, apply spiritual practices, apply spiritual tools. Because as I asked you last week, if we don't do it, who the heck is? Right? Because if we just sit here all kumbaya and oming, right? How is it different than, thoughts and prayers are with you? Instead, we just say, I'll treat for you, or I'll pray for you, right? I'll know something in consciousness for you. That's all valid and true. And that, as we demonstrated last week, is the place where we start. We allow that spiritual truth, we allow the ideas to come up within us to get grounded in spirit, and then we have to take action. And that's where the toolbox comes in. So I like the question, what's in your toolbox? Kind of sounds like, what's in your wallet? It's not a Capital One card, okay? Right? Your toolbox may include a Capital One card, but what's in your toolbox? How are you going to respond? What are you going to do as a person who lives spiritually? How are you responding to yesterday's events, yesterday's news? What tool are you going to use? I can give you some of them that I've shared with you over the past, 6 months, or even 3 months, even 2 months, even last month, okay? One of them, right? The anatomy of a situation. We just talked about that last week, did we not? Yep. Another one, common ground. Remember that one? Where I had the core values, where we had to find the core values with each other, common ground. Another one is check your sources. Do you remember that one? Where I invited you to look at all the different news sources and look at news sources from around the world and see how other countries are reporting on these events, what the lens is like, getting different perspectives so that you can then begin to get a broader and a deeper understanding of things. Another one I asked you for was challenge your assumptions, right? That was another one. Challenge your assumptions. When you go to the all people do this, Nobody does that. Everybody says this. No one says that, right? When we go to the ultimates, when we go to the ultimates, right? All or nothing, right? When we go to the extremes, we are assuming. We are making judgments. How many of you remember the drama triangle? Oh, yeah. How many of you remember the empowerment triangle? Right? It's all about choices. It's all about the choices that we have, the opportunities that we have to then go and apply what it is that we are practicing, what it is that we are learning, and what it is that we are applying. In other words, we can only do so much sitting here on a Sunday, right? It has to carry outside this room. It has to carry beyond the walls of your home at home. It has to carry out into the greater world. And you, my beloveds, are the hands, the feet, the mouth, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the physical body of spirit made manifest. And it is your duty, it is your responsibility to get up there, to get out there, to speak your truth, to live the truth, to practice the truth, to practice these practices so that you too are shifting your mind and shifting your consciousness and not getting caught in the fray. In next week and in the following weeks, we're going to be working with a book by Bishop Desmond Tutu and his daughter Mfo Tutu. And that book is the book of forgiveness. This community has been asking about wanting to go deeper with forgiveness. And I think this is the perfect time to go deeper with this idea of forgiveness. And so it'll be 4, 5, 6-part series on what Bishop Tutu is promoting. So I want to give you a little preview of that in relationship to everything that has happened in the last less than 24 hours, okay? So he advocates for what he calls the fourfold path of forgiveness. And in the book, he talks about we always have a choice. When something happens, when there is an event, when there is harm or pain or hurt, there is a choice. We can choose to retaliate, or we can choose to reconnect. So retaliate or reconnect. He goes on to say that our brains are actually hardwired to retaliate. Our brains are hardwired to seek revenge, to hurt when we get hurt, to retaliate based on an impulse that was installed years and years and years ago in our reptilian brain, right, that keeps us safe, right? So something happens, we have to attack back, right? It's about keeping ourselves safe. It's that reptilian brain. Okay, you try to eat me, I'm going to eat you instead, right? It's that kind of, right? It's that reptilian brain. But, well, let's just stick with that one. So, just because we have the impulse for revenge does not mean that there is a moral justification, that we have the moral justification to follow that impulse, to act on that impulse, right? We have all kinds of impulses, right? Like eating could be an impulse, but there are certain times when it's not appropriate to eat, right? So we control the impulse and we don't eat, right? Sometimes it used to be like you shouldn't eat in church, unlike us where it's like, hey, bring on the food, right? And the snacks, right? But, back in the day with the hats and the everybody getting dressed up and whatever, oh, you unwrap a candy too loud and, people are all looking at you. Those church ladies are like, woo, right? You shouldn't be eating except the bread of Christ, or the body of Christ, right? We are so not that. But there is impulse control. We can control those impulses. So just because we might have the impulse to seek revenge does not mean that that is what we should do, right? Because what happens? Violence begets violence. If you think of an eye for an eye, we all end up blind, right? If we just keep going down that path, we all end up aligned. So the revenge cycle is actually a closed loop. It's a closed loop. So what happens with your revenge cycle? So there's harm, there's pain, and we choose to hurt instead. So we choose to harm. We choose revenge. And so what we're doing when we do that is we are rejecting our shared humanity. We're rejecting our common humanity. We take revenge, retaliation, payback, right? And then that leads to violence and cruelty. And then violence and cruelty leads to harm, pain, suffering. Choose to revenge, and it's just the cycle. It's a closed loop cycle, right? Or the other opportunity is to reconnect, is about forgiveness. And so we are also, don't fret that you're only hardwired to seek revenge, because we know that's not true, right? You're not out there like, just because somebody cut you off, you're flipping them off, and then you're playing this road rage tag all the way down the road, right? There's also the possibility, because we are hardwired for connection. We're hardwired for compassion. We're hardwired for forgiveness and reconnection. In fact, ostracism, shunning, intentionally closing somebody out, intentionally cutting them off from contact is a form of punishment, because physical contact and emotional contact is so important to the human physical body. It's just as important as air, water, and food. Without that contact, especially without physical touch, without that contact, without relationship, then our bodies start to deteriorate. Our mental capacity starts to deteriorate. We start to deteriorate. So instead, we have the opportunity to choose. And so when the harm happens, we experience the pain, then we can choose, and this is where the fourfold path comes in. We can choose to tell our story, to presence our story. We can choose to name our hurt. That's step 2. 1 is tell the story. 2 is name the hurt. 3 is to grant forgiveness. In other words, meaning seeing each other's humanity, experiencing each other's humanity. And then 4, to either renew or release the relationship. So healing itself means that dignity on this path is restored and we are able to move forward. So while the revenge is a loop, right? Revenge is a loop. The fourfold path is actually a path to freedom. It doesn't loop, because you go through the process and you arrive at a place of healing rather than at a place of cycling back through. Because you're recognizing your own humanity, you're recognizing your own story, but you're also recognizing that the other person is still a person. And they have a story too. They have pains, they have suffering, they have whatever they have too. And from that place, we find connection. And then we can offer forgiveness. And then we can choose to you either stay in the relationship or repair the relationship, reparations, which we talked about not long ago, or reconciliation, which we talked about not too long ago. Or we can reconcile within ourselves and say, you know what? I bless you to your highest and furthest good. Right? Your highest and furthest good. Right? Meaning that we're no longer, necessarily having a relationship with one another. One of the things, though, that we have to be really super careful about, my beloveds, and it's easy to do when we are not practicing, is it is easy to forget that it's evil acts or monstrous acts, but it is not an evil person or a monster. Because the minute we label monster, what we've done is we've taken away their humanity, because monsters don't have the morality, the human morality. So we've taken away their humanity. And so, of course, it's fine that they did that. Guess why? Because they're a monster. And so it absolves them of their responsibility. It absolves them of their accountability. So we have to remember that it is not a monster. If we are labeling somebody as a monster, we are too are participating in that level of separation, that level of distancing, that level of othering, which causes the problem of conflict that causes the pain in the first place. You following? You tracking? So, again, I implore you to practice, 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 practice. Okay? So, I know some of you are going to say, but Jeff, I know it's Together We Rise. I know we're talking about love in action. I know this year's theme is Together We Rise. I know that the theme of the month, or the theme for right now, is love in action. And you know what? I'm tired of taking the high road, as Michelle says, right? When they go low, we go high, what have you. I'm tired of taking the high road. I believe that, good is never going to win. That's a belief that's wrapped in a story, that's wrapped around facts. That is an unconscious, or maybe it's a conscious belief, that you don't think change is possible. But if we get into that place where change isn't possible, then we're stuck too. And as I mentioned, we have the opportunity to practice, 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 so that we do not fall into the trap, the entrapment of being stuck. We are called to awaken humanity. That's awakening ourselves. We're called to practice these tools. We're called to share the tools. We're called to live the tools that are available to us and learn more. So we're going to go to tables here. And I invite you to share at the tables. Oop, I went too far. There we go. Of all the tools that we've been sharing the past, 6 months or so, I shared some of them with you now, and then you may have others that you've employed. Like I know Frank's got more because, there's 125 of them, like we said, Frank, right? Yep. So which tool for thriving and transformation have you found to be most useful to you of late? How have you used and practiced this tool, and what has shifted for you as a result of using this tool? So the questions are here, the questions are on the table, and I invite you to spend time at the table discussing one or two tools that are, or a tool, you could even just share one, whatever, discussing a tool that works for you, discussing how you've practiced it and how it has shifted for you. Ready, set, go. And if you are watching at home, then I invite you to join in right now to the Zoom room, and the Zoom room meeting ID is there on your screen. So join Reverend Zena and the rest of the gang in the Zoom room right now. Okay, everybody take a nice deep breath. Take a nice deep breath. All right, now you're going to shift your focus to what it is that you would like prayer for this week, what it is that you would like this table to know in consciousness for you this week, what it is that they would like to, what it is that you would like support around this week. Remember, it's not a story. We're not getting into the stories, right? It's just what is it that you want prayer for? What is it you want held in consciousness for you this week? Go ahead and share that. You've got 2 minutes and go. Frank has an announcement, so I will make that, but I think that's it. Because it's just the one, right? It's just Daryl's thing. Right now it's just the drumming, so then I'll make the other one for Frank. Huh? Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do that. All right, 30 more seconds. All right, welcome back. So we're going to go to tables here. And the first table we're going to go to is we're going to go over there and see Frank.
Frank. All
Come
right.
to Frank.
First of all, wake up, family.
There you go. Right on.
I didn't mean to scare you. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So we were, well, for me, I was trying to understand the situation yesterday, which was, I was saying nearly about, almost, and no cigars yet kind of stuff. Now, I don't know if that's positive, negative, or whatever, but I need to be able to let that go and let God. And so one of the things, well, a lot of the things that came out in our group is that remove all negativity, prayer and meditation works. And I really like what Evelyn says. When she's in this kind of situation, she goes outside and let her feet touch the earth and the ground, and it gives her energy. So I think I'm going to try that one, okay?
There you go. All right, thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna come over here into the center with Allison.
Allison.
Well, I'll say that we discussed the common ground as being transformational, that really taking difficult situations and relationships and stepping back rather than being in judgment and being the martyr and all of those good things, and shifting to, well, what do I have in common with this person that I'm judging horrendously? And there's great freedom in acknowledging that commonality, and then moving into prayer that seems more meaningful because you have this awareness that you're just not that different from the other. And then we also talked about acceptance and how powerful that is, too.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now we're going to come over here to Jesse. Well, we were going to come to Jesse. I guess we're coming to Alex now instead.
Alex.
Jesse escaped the building for a moment.
We actually had a really similar conversation to everything Allison just mentioned. We talked about finding common ground to start. We talked about acceptance as necessary for forgiveness. And we talked about stepping back from a situation that is highly charged and emotional, that you become what I think Martha said, as emotion goes up, emotions are high, intelligence is low. So yes. Take a step back, think it through, take a breath, respond with that higher brain or the higher self rather than the lower brain or the lizard self that just wants to engage in a fight. And then another thing Martha brought up too was just the idea that you can remember that for other people too.
Yes.
That and it doesn't just work for you. It's also you can take their perspective and say, oh, they're reacting from that defensive space, so I don't need to take this personally. Mm-hmm. And that can break that cycle of retribution and vengeance.
Absolutely. Just like Don Miguel Ruiz, don't take anything personally, right? So, perfect. All right, and so they're at home or in our Zoom room. Whoop.
All right, Earl, jump on. Gotta unmute yourself.
I think we had a robust discussion. I believe it all comes down to recognizing when you are in the moment and not judging these impulses.
Earl, can you hold on a second?
Sure.
Dina, can you stop your screen share, please? There we go. We were getting too much feedback. Okay, there we go. Now, Earl, go again.
Oh, okay. Let me just start here. We've had many, many years to learn how to respond and be a certain way. And I think that when I made a decision to live the life of divine love, that I would become aware of the choices or what's happening, and I get to decide on what that means to me, realizing that someone else's opinion about me is not about me. Really, it's about what's being filtered through their belief systems. I just think that also we discover that recognition and making a different choice, choosing differently, makes all the difference in the world. And one thing that we left off with is that remembering to take out the trash every day, and that is the mental trash that we accumulated over the years, and even in these very moments that we learn to empty that and fill it with the principles of the divine, recognizing who we are with the truth of who we are.
Earl, there we go. So, yes, take out the mental trash. Thank you, Earl. Take out the mental trash. As one of my friends and colleagues calls it, the head trash, right? It's the head trash. Take out the head trash and throw it out, make sure it goes. The other thing that was over here that I really like, it really sparked, so thank you, Martha, for bringing this to the room as well, is that when emotion runs high, intelligence runs low, right? So to step back. The way I knew I was really fluent in Japanese, just as an aside, but this also demonstrates this point, the way I knew I was really fluent in Japanese, people say, oh, if you're really fluent, you start dreaming in the language. I'm like, well, yeah, except it's your dream, so of course you understand everything. So duh, I mean, right? But in real life, when the emotion runs high and you can stay in not your non-native language, then you know that you've mastered the language, because as she said, emotion runs high, intelligence runs low, and if you can stay in that other language while your intelligence is running low, you mastered it, okay? Just FYI for those of you, studying foreign language or studying another language. So, your assignment this week, your homework, your tool this week. Go on our website. Go to the website and in the upper thing it says what we offer. And then it says weekly tools. Click on the weekly tools and then peruse all 125 tools that we have. Peruse the 600 plus questions that we have. Look over them. Find ones that speak to you in this moment, right now, today, or this week. And then do what? Practice them. Thank you, Cindy. Don't just look at them. Oh, aren't those pretty? Right? No, practice them. Put them into practice. All right, so here we go. You ready, Sanja? She's ready. All right.
I'm ready. All
and
right.
so it is.
And so it is. All right. So now is a time, a sacred time for our giving and receiving. Your conscious contribution to this center allows us to continue all the wonderful work. You notice envelopes on your table? Now, there's a green envelope, and there's your tithing envelope. The green envelopes is for with 2 or more, and this helps us with maintenance and things around the house. So your contribution is very much appreciated. Another way that you can give is by text to give. You can send your text to 951-419-5858 with the amount that you wish to contribute. It's really easy. When I tithe, I do it by text to give. Or you can also go on our website, which is riversidecsl.org, and click on the upper right-hand corner, and it says contribute. And so we are so grateful for your ongoing generosity. And for those of you in Johnson Hall, please place your giving in the envelopes in the silver vessel. Extend your hands forward to the vessel and send forth energy and blessing as we repeat our abundance affirmation, which is on the screen. Let's say it together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. Thank you. I have an envelope I'm going to put in here. Thank you. And now it's time for our announcements.
No, it's not.
Oh, what?
It's time for their song.
Oh, it's time for your song. All right, music.
I will never be more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. Doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me out.
You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right
now. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance.
You are
Jireh,
You are
enough.
forever enough, always enough, more than enough. Forever enough, always enough, more than enough. I don't want to forget how I feel right now on the mountaintops. I can see so clear what it's all about. Stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't wanna forget how I feel right now. Jireh,
Jireh, you are enough.
forever
Jireh, you are enough.
Yes, you are.
And I will be content.
Yes, you are.
In every circumstance.
'Cause I'm more than enough.
Jireh, you are enough.
Forever enough, always enough, more than enough. Yes, you are forever enough, always enough, more than enough. I'm already loved, I'm already chosen. I know who I am, I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved,
More than
I can imagine, and that is enough.
Beauty and splendor. Clothe you. How much more will God clothe you?
If God dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will God clothe you? How much more will God clothe you? If God watches over every sparrow, how much more does God love you? How much more does God love
If
you?
He dresses in lilies with their beauty and splendor, how much more will God love you? How much more will
So
God
don't
love
you
you?
worry.
How much more?
So don't you worry. So
How
don't
much
you
more
worry.
will God love you?
Don't you worry.
How much more will God
How
love
much
you?
more?
How much more?
How much more?
How much more will God
How
love
much
you?
more?
How much more will God
How
love
much
you?
more?
How much more?
Jireh,
Jireh, you are enough.
Oh yes, you are. You are
Jireh,
more than enough, and I will be content
in every circumstance.
You are.
Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough.
Oh yes, you are.
Jireh, you are enough.
So enough.
And I will be content in every circumstance.
You are.
Jireh, you are enough.
Thank you, Van. I have announcements for you. Okay. So the drum circle is today at 1 o'clock. So Daryl said the congregation has been asking for something a little bit different. The drum circle is every month, and so the drum circle is today. So please join us downstairs at 1 o'clock. Also, Reverend Jeff and, yeah? As well. All right. And we have extra drums. We brought extra drums with us.
So for those of you who are joining us online who may be on your way here to the center, Daryl said that he has friends coming from Menifee as well as a Native American flute player who's going to be playing flute as well. So if you want to come down and be part of that, please be come on down. You don't need to bring drum. Well, if you have a drum, bring the drum. But if you don't have drums, don't worry about it. Come on down. We do have a few extra drums as well.
All right. Okay, and then the other announcements, Reverend Jeffrey and I have the pleasure of being in a clergy group. So we went to our meeting on Thursday, and one of the Methodist Church of Riverside, First Methodist Church of Riverside, has Bye Bye Summer Bash. It takes place on July 27th from 9 to noon, and it says, join us for free school supplies, snacks, games, water slides, bounce house, and crafts to celebrate the end of the summer. And I'll leave the flyers back on the table, but if you know some kids that need school supplies and just want to take part in the fun and celebration, the flyer is going to be available. And now I'll pass the mic to Reverend Jeff.
So the men's group, Frank would like to meet with you immediately after we finish our morning table here. Over here in the corner where Frank is, men's group, please meet with him. You're going to discuss the picnic, recap of the picnic, and then also begin thinking about the fish fry, because the fish fry is already coming up. So meet with Frank right after we close out here. All right? Sound good? Yes. And he's not going to keep you too long because, everybody wants to get to Drummond too. So it's all a good thing. The other thing I want to share with you is don't forget that we have the morning table cards here for you. So make sure that you take 1 or 2 or 3 or more of the morning table cards, share them with your friends. It tells the morning table on the front, and then on the back, it says spiritual but not religious, sick of the sin storyline, ready for something radically different, so are we. And there's the QR code there that takes them to our website. So make sure you take these with you, share them with your friends, share them with your family. Happen to, leave them on a table at a restaurant, or tuck it into your bill, whatever you want to do. Put it in a book, for those people that we actually still read paper. It makes a good paper. A doctor's office, all of it. So pamphlet it around, share it around. We want to see your friends, your family, and people who would benefit from what we do here at the center. So let's just come together in consciousness. I invite our practitioners and core council members to please stand and surround the sanctuary. And we come together. Breathing in, breathing out. Recognizing that the unity that Spirit is, the oneness that Spirit is what is being called for this day. That in this moment, in this time, in this space, I recognize that unity is all that there is, that there simply is this oneness, this interconnectedness, that is the one life, the one power, the one presence, the one infinite eternal, that brought forth all of life, that brought forth all of creation. Therefore, I know that every bit of the universe, every living being, every sentient being, every rock, every mineral, every atom is Spirit made manifest, is the body of the one life, is the body of the divine. So I recognize that there is no separation. There just simply is this oneness, this unity, that each one of us is one with it, inseparable from it, that our sisters, brothers, and siblings, known and unknown to us, on a personal level, on a geographic level, all of it, every single one, is the divine manifestation of this one life, is the emanation and impartation of love itself. And so I call it forth here and now. We unite in our oneness. We unite in the love that we are. We unite in the wholeness and perfection and harmony and peace that we are. This is who and what we are. And so we recognize it in each other. We recognize it in ourselves. And it is in this place of groundedness, in this place of holy union, of conscious union, holy communion, holy community, that we go forth from this place, practicing our tools for transformation, sharing the message of love, being the demonstration of spirit, of unity here on earth. So I simply give thanks for it, recognizing that it is absolutely so. We stand united, and so it is. And so I invite everyone to please stand and let us say the affirmation here. I use my transformation tools regularly. Now tell me, I want to believe that you're going to do this week. All right? So, 1, 2, 3. All right. Very good. I think I believe some of you, most of you. All right. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward because love lives here. Happy Sunday.
When the world gets you down and you're feeling lonely, when you can't find your truth or find your center, there are many who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other, and the scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. You know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives.
Love lives here.
Where love lives.
Love lives here.
When life gets you down, you can't see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together, and the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. You know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives.
Love lives here.
Where love lives.
Love lives here.
Love lives here. Have a great Sunday. Love you guys.